Hello, everybody. Today I will show you how dog culture refuses to recognize the pattern. Okay, the truth is in the pattern, and dog culture should recognize the pattern because with everything else, we recognize the pattern. So let's start off with a little excerpt from a pit bull victim awareness video.
Dog. A number of other people were inside the home, but no one else was injured, according to police, and investigators are still working to find out what triggered a deadly attack on a child by a family pet.
So they always do that. A toddler is dead, tortured alive in his own home by a pit bull. This is what pit bulls do. It's their pattern. There are hundreds and hundreds of these stories. It seems like they almost happen daily, definitely weekly or bi weekly. So they got investigators investigating why would a killer kill someone? They do this all the time. They don't recognize the pattern, they don't recognize the truth. If this was anything else in society, they would recognize the pattern. Something that is happening in dog culture, we are manufacturing victims and we are manufacturing the killers. Okay, we manufacture the dogs. We propagate the pit bull dogs. We cover up for their crimes and atrocities. The tragic the tragic death of a little kid. We constantly cover these up. They do the story, but then they say, "Well, we're going to investigate and see what could have possibly happened." So you're manufacturing a victim because everybody that consumes the dog culture propaganda, they think, well, a child was killed, but something must have triggered it. So we're okay because, well, we just won't trigger our dog. So you are manufacturing victims and you are manufacturing the killers. And at the end of the day, that just allows these people, the newscasters, the investigators, to sit back and pat themselves on the back and not recognize the pattern of these nasty dogs. It's really sick and sinister if you step back and think about it. So now we're over here at a different story where a man was accused of rape in Portland, Oregon. So I'm going to show you how we recognize the pattern in other cases.
Called 911.
Anytime someone can do something like this, there's always the potential that it's happened before or it could happen again.
According
It's the same thing true with pit bulls. Pit bulls are a certain type of dog. And that type of dog is the type of dog that kills toddlers in the way that I just showed you in that previous video. Yet they will sit back and scratch their heads and act like it's a complete mystery to them, even though it's been going on for decades. And this guy that you're looking at right now in this Portland video, he recognizes the pattern. Certain types of people will commit these crimes. And part of the reason that they will commit these crimes is because they've been getting away with these crimes before.
to the documents, the victim says she got the impression Anderson had been to the warehouse before, pointing out things like security cameras and knowing the layout of the building.
She met this individual on an app. They engaged in communication and they met up, and she, in all likelihood, assumed it was going to be a nice evening. And then this awful.
She assumed it was going to be a nice evening. The same thing when you adopt a pit bull. 9 out of 10 people will tell you, oh, it's a nanny dog, it's going to be your precious cuddle bumpkins, etc., so on and so forth. So what this guy right here is doing right now, he's illustrating to us how we have manufactured a victim. That lady, she was tricked to get with this guy, and the guy, he was incentivized to trick her because it had worked for him before. So when it comes to the crimes in our country, we recognize the pattern and do our best to educate people on how to not be raped and not to incentivize rapists. However, with the pit bull culture and the dog culture, we don't do that. We don't recognize the pattern. We just sit back and scratch our heads and we say, well, we're going to investigate to see what happened.
Crime took place. Our suggestion would be that when you're meeting somebody for the first time, do it in a very public setting. so that there are other individuals, other people there to keep an eye out for you.
So you see what he's doing there. He's telling you how to avoid this next time, stay away from people like this, or meet them in public, meet them in a safe place. He's recognizing the pattern of behavior on the victim side and behavior on the rapist side. But we don't do that with dog culture. This is the disparity of dog culture. We refuse to take our children and teach them about how nasty dogs are. We brainwash our kids from the day they're born, put them into these houses full of pit bulls, and more children are being sent to the grave by these dogs, and yet not any type of conversation like I just showed you. So does that make sense to anybody at all? Can you see the disparities in dog culture and how it basically manufactures victims? And the victims are largely our little toddlers in their own homes. That's pretty sad. But when it comes to rape or sexual violence, we have apps on our phone. We have advocacy agencies. We have people like this lady that's going to talk to you in this video, if you watch it, how to prevent yourself from being a victim, how to stop incentivizing these people that are raping you or taking advantage of you, how to stop incentivizing them, to stop being a victim and to stop incentivizing the culprit. But when it comes to all of this dog stuff, we don't have any people like this to stick up for our little kids. You know, when you're a little kid in the house and you see your parents rubbing up on pit bulls all day, kissing up on them, bouncing them up on the bed like they're little lovers and mates, as a little kid, you see that. Then you get too close to the pit bull, or you give the pit bull a little slap on the butt like you see your dad do all day. Next thing you know, you're mauled and dead. And that's just absolutely sick. So, yeah, that's the disparity of dog culture. I got this video for you and this video for you. If you watch them both and give those concepts some thought, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.